Hey guys, today we'll be going through the card list for the up and coming set, which is OP03. It's called Mighty Enemies, or I think it's also called Pillars of Strength. So yeah, this will come out, as you can see, February 11th, which is in 2 days from now. They've officially dropped the entire card list and they've shown some parallels, so we'll be going through them. So yeah. Now, we're going to start with one of my favorite characters, as you all know if you've watched previous videos, but if not, this is the character that I like potentially the most of One Piece, and that is my boy Ace. So he is the leader for Red, and there's only one leader this time. So yeah, as you can see, he is Whitebeard Pirates leader, looks quite cool. His life is normal, as you can expect, 5,000 power. And yeah, so let's read out his ability. When this leader attacks or is being attacked, you may trash any number of event or stage cards from your hand. For each card you trashed, you get plus 1,000 power during this battle. Okay, now this is a very good ability because it doesn't just apply when he's attacking, but also when he's being attacked. Okay. Now, if you guys have played the game, which hopefully you guys have, you can see that sometimes you don't have enough counter cards in your deck or in your hand to counter when someone's attacking you. So what this means is that it basically gives Ace more survivability, and yeah, it also introduces like a new sort of valuability, like it adds value to event or stage cards. And the reason it works well with this set is because this set also comes with 4 new event cards and a new stage card just for Ace. So here, let's have a look. So as you can see, these are all from the fight that he has against Blackbeard. So you have Flame Emperor, which works only with Ace. You can see if your leader is Ace, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 8,000 power less, which is quite good because it has quite high power. And then you also get double attack, which means that Ace can then attack twice. Okay, and he would get 3,000 power during that turn. So basically what you get to do is that you, like for example, this would counter sort of very strong cards, right? You get rid of their high power and you would take Ace from 5,000 to 8,000 power himself with double attack. So yeah, very strong card. Hopefully I get a lot of these because I will be running them. You have Crossfire, which is a good counter card. You have Fire Fist, which is obviously iconic for Ace, and you have Fiery Dot, all from the fight against Blackbeard. And then you have a stage card just for Ace. So you have Ace's Striker, and as you can see, it only works with Ace as well. It says if your leader is Ace, and it says you can look at 5 cards, you can reveal an event card, and you can add it to your hand. So very good. I like how they've not only added Ace leader, but they've made sort of Ace specific cards. To the point where, like, not only have they made these Ace specific, but I'm going to reveal something to you now, which is this. This is the first parallel event card, and yeah, so Fire Fist Ace, because as we know, that's his iconic thing. So yeah, that's quite cool. It's the first parallel event card. So next I'm gonna show you the other red cards, starting with these two, Adio and Lim from One Piece Odyssey, the game that recently came out. So yeah, so Odyssey, obviously they always add feature cards. We've got cards from the film Red, and I think the back of the Don cards this time also has a shout out to One Piece Odyssey. Next we have sort of 2, I'll say random cards, but the cards that aren't Whitebeard Pirates, which is the main focus. So you have Garp, who's red, even though he is navy and most navy cards have been black. But I think this is quite good because obviously, as we know, Red has Luffy, and I sort of like to think of this as Garp helping Ace and Luffy, because this is obviously the younger Garp. And then we have Buggy, which once again I believe it's because he associated himself with Whitebeard during Paramount War. Buggy has a very interesting ability, which I just want to read for you. This character cannot be KO'd when battling slash attribute characters and leaders. And I think this is very funny. I very much like this, because as we guys know, Buggy ate the top fruit. He can't be hurt by swords. So yeah, that's very interesting that they've made it so that he literally he cannot be killed by slash attribute characters and leaders. So yeah, that's I very much like when the game developers have fun with meta and they sort of like add interesting elements, which you'll see more of later as well. Next up, we have the Whitebeard pirates that we didn't get before. So we have Thatch, Curiel, and Speed Jill, and then we also have Flamenco, Haruta, and Nemure. So these are all Whitebeard pirates that we didn't get in OP03. Next are more valuable cards. So these are the 2 red rares cards, as obviously we know that Ace has a rare event card. So we have Ezo and we have Teach from obviously before he left the Whitebeard pirates. I like the sort of like illusion in this image. I don't want to spoil it, but obviously if you're a One Piece fan, you should know. And yeah, Ezo obviously is quite a cool character, and I think a lot of fans do like him, especially more recently as well. So yeah, very cool. And then we have the SR, another one of my favorite characters, which is Marco. So Marco was in OP02. He didn't have a very good card, and here we finally have an SR Marco. And I want to say that he's been designed, like this is his normal card, it's not even his parallel. Designed quite well, and on top of its design, the abilities are quite interesting. So as you guys might know, Marco has eaten the Phoenix fruit, so he's quite resilient to damage, right? So as you can see, when we play Marco, he KOs up to one of his opponent's characters with 3000 power or less. Basic ability. This ability is quite nice. On KO, so when Marco dies, you can trash an event card from your hand and you can play Marco again as rested. Meaning that basically, if he dies, you can bring him back in exchange for an event card. And so like, I very much like that ability, and there's no limit to that ability either. So you could basically just, like, if you had like 5 event cards in your hand, okay, they could just never kill Marco if you wanted to. So yeah, I very much like it. Like I said, I very much like the incorporating like character features into this. And yeah, so that is all of red. Next is green. So green is East Blue villains. Okay, so obviously the leader for green, we've got Kuro. He's a green leader. He's of the Black Cat Pirates. Yeah, so he's quite cool. His ability, we just read it. You may rest 2 characters with the East Blue type, and then you can set that leader as active, and you can rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, which is good because basically what happens is that say you use him, then you can make him active again, and you can also force your character to play a character. So obviously, as we know, you can only attack a character when they're rested. So sometimes, especially with red decks, what you'll get is that someone will like put someone like Nami and spam her ability but never attack with her, so she basically can't be killed unless you use an ability. But yeah, here you're forcing your opponent to rest their character, and then you can kill them if you want to. Next, so we're going to go through like green. I've split up. So as you see, I'm not going number wise. I'm sort of going like Black Cat Pirates, and then I'll go the next group. So for the Black Cat Pirates, we have 3 cards. So we have Sham, we have Django, and we have Butchie. Yeah, so Django is actually a rare card, which I thought was quite nice. Obviously, he deserves to be a rare card. Yeah, so that is actually it for the Kuroneko Pirates. There's only 4 of them, but they do show up quite early, and I do think this is quite nice. I actually think that this is what Romance Dawn should have been, that Romance Dawn should have had characters from early on. So next we have 2 event cards. from Captain Kuro as well during his fight with Luffy. So we have one with Janko, one with Kuro. So yeah, I quite like that, like they sort of grouped it. So these are all the cards for the Black Hat Pirates. Next is Arlong. So Arlong is a mixed leader, as you can see, green yellow leader. His life is only 4, but yeah, so let's read his ability. When attacking, play 1 cost of 4 lower character card with trigger from your hand. So basically you can play a character that has trigger sort of instantly, which is quite good, and you do it when attacking as well. We'll see how this sort of fares out in the meta, but I have seen that card sort of line up with him. So from the Arlong Pirates we have Kurobi, Chu and Momo, which is all commons and uncommons, all part of the Arlong Pirates. But yeah, and then we have some more which I like more. So we have Nami during her time in the Arlong crew. We have Hatchan, a character that I have a soft spot for, which you guys might see later on in the series. Why? If you guys haven't watched One Piece. Obviously if you have watched One Piece, you know exactly why I like Hatchan. And then we have Tooth Attack, which is obviously the attack that Arlong used against Luffy. And then we have the SR, which is Krieg, Don Krieg. He wasn't a leader, so I guess they decided to make him SR. And then from the Krieg Pirates we have Jin, who is a rare. We have MH5, which was the attack used, and then we have Pearl as well. So yeah, overall green quite nice. It's all about East Blue, all about the villains of East Blue, and I think it's a nice throwback, and I think it's nice that they're incorporating all the characters across One Piece instead of just, you know, fan favorites, because, you know, like Jin was a cool character, you know, he had a lot to offer. And then there's Alvida and Buggy, who are also from East Blue, but they didn't fit in with the other groups. Yeah, I find it funny that Buggy cannot be KO'd in battle. So yeah, that is it for green. Green is East Blue villains. Let's go on to blue, which is East Blue protagonist, as it were, the good guys. And to start with, we have Nami. I just want to say off the bat, this leader is amazing. Okay, so Nami, 5 life, 5,000 power. Okay, and this is the most amazing thing that I've seen. As an additional rule, when your deck reaches 0 cards, you win the match instead of losing it. So if you guys have ever played One Piece, or if you guys have ever read the rulebook, you'll know that there's only 2 ways to lose the game, which is that your life reaches 0, or if you run out of cards. So if you run out of cards, then you lose. Nami focuses that if you reach 0 cards as Nami, you win, which is amazing. Like, is genuinely so funny. It's an amazing playstyle, and yeah, this might be my playstyle. I'm a very rush, like I rush quite a lot. So okay, now you might be like, okay, that isn't great if, you know, no one sort of like helps Nami. But I'm gonna say that all the blue cards, like most of the blue cards, do seem to help her with this, in this set at least. So yeah, so Nami won every single, there was a tournament, like a pre-release tournament, 2 days ago, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago, and yeah, Nami won every single battle in that, which is hilarious. So let's see the other blue cards. So so I've done it village wise. Obviously Nami's village, you have Genzo, you have Belmir, and you have Nojiko. Common, uncommon, and yeah, as you can see here, look, if your leader is Nami, then you can get a card back to play it. Here Belmir, literally, when this character deals damage to your opponent's life, you may trash 7 cards. 7 cards from the top of your deck. That's outrageous. And then if they kill her, you can still trash 3 cards. Like, they've just, it's such a fun playstyle to have. Next we have characters from the Baratie restaurant. We have Khan, Zeph and Patty, which is quite cool. I sort of like how like this sort of mirrors that like directionally. And then Zeph is a rare card. He does have a parallel, which I will show you guys later. But as you can see, once again, this is just hilarious. Okay, if your deck has 20 or less cards, this character gains 3,000 power. If your deck has 20 cards or less, you may return up to a character. So basically, this relies on you having not a lot of cards. And then Zeph, once again, you deal damage, you trash 7 cards, and then you can return a character to your hand and then trash 2 cards again. Like, it's just so many abilities that just trash your cards, which I find beyond hilarious. And then next, we have sort of randoms, I'm going to say, from East Blue. Not randoms, but they don't fit in, but we have Gaimon, Budo, Yosuko, and Johnny, which obviously we saw in East Blue. They were, you know, recurring characters at the start. So yeah, you can see here, trash the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you can place this character in the trash as well. Trash, and then this is like if they have 20 cards or less, they gain power. Like just this is an amazing playstyle overall, where you just trash your characters. Like this is very much fun deck, and I very much want to try out. Yeah, so next we have Usopp, Syrup Village. So as you can see, we have the Usopp Pirates, and this is quite good. They say add up to 1 blue Usopp from your trash to your hand. Now this is good because there are in fact 2 blue Usopps that you could use this for. Okay, both are good cards. Kaya, where you draw 2 cards and you trash 2 cards, very strong. Because obviously cards, if you draw them, then you can use them, and then you're trashing anyway. And then Mary, who obviously, as we all know, designed the Go Mary, was Kaya's butler. Yeah. And then to top it off, to show you the main character himself, here we have Usopp. He is the SR, the super rare, for blue. And yeah, as you can see, once again, when the character deals damage to your opponent's life, you can trash 7 cards, and it gets rush. So overall, just an amazing playstyle. I very much like blue. And just to show you the event cards as well, they're all like good moments. So you have Zoro versus Mihawk, you have Jin eating Sanji's food, you have Usopp versus the Fishman, and you have Luffy versus Krieg. So as you can see, once again, you gain power, and you can trash cards. This one, like you just place this was quite funny, but it's basically like you can choose a character and be like, nope, return to bottom. And yeah, so overall, I very much like this entire sort of playstyle that Blue's introduced. Okay, next up we have Purple. So the leader is Iceberg, or Barkerberg, as Frankie calls him. And yeah, very cool character that we like. Purple sort of focuses entirely on Water 7. And an interesting, the ability that this leader has is that Iceberg cannot attack, which I think is a very good like addition. It reflects his character as like a sort of pacifist, as like the leader. He's sort of non-violent. So yeah, it's an interesting decision to do in Purple, which like from what we like, if you guys sort of think of the other Purple leaders like Kaido, which are more like there's a very distinct difference. But yeah, like I said, I very much like that they're including like personalities within their abilities. And yeah, so let's read the rest. You may rest as leader, play up to 1 character that costs 5 or less. So even though he cannot attack, you can sort of constantly play characters from the company. So to start with, we have obviously, I would say the main 3, Kaku, Lucci, and Khalifa. Lucci is the rare, and these are from their time as working for Iceberg, right, as part of the company. If you guys have watched One Piece, you'll see what happens to them later. So yeah, I mean, even if you're watching this video, you'll still find out what happens later, but still. Okay, so these are sort of the main three, and then we have Tilestone and Lulu, also part of the company, and then sort of the main SR was Powley, which I found very nice that they made Powley the SR, because he deserves it. Honestly, like, considering the arc he has, he deserves it. Just to read his sort of ability, add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck and set it as active. Then if you have 8 or more Don in play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. So very aggressive, unlike Iceberg. So I think like the cards do make up for Iceberg's lack of attacking. Yep. Then we have Frankie family. So we have Kiwi and Mozu. We have Zambai from the Frankie family. Then we have some other characters that are like related to Water 7. So we have Chimney, Gombe, Kokoro. Kokoro is also a rare card for purple. And yeah, it's just, I find it quite nice that we have sort of Water 7. I very much like Water 7. I like the characters in it. Yeah, and this is to follow on from OP02. So as we know that during purple in Paramount War, the purple reflected the characters in Impel Down. So this time we've got 2 more Jailer Beasts, which is, you know, Minnow Zebra and Minnow Rhinoceros. So yeah, these, as you can see, if your leader has the Impelled Down type, these characters aren't for this deck. They're sort of meant to help the previous deck, if that makes sense. Yeah. So then we have the event cards and Luffy. So Luffy is the last. I sort of kept him till the end. So Luffy is a rare. This is Luffy during the Water 7 arc. I quite like that they always add Luffy in between. So yeah, a lot of like, I think like if we look at purple, it's built to sort of help Iceberg, because Iceberg cannot attack. And even though I like the fact that they haven't made him attack, as like a meta thing, it does make it hard that you have 1 less attack on your team. But I think the cards very much do make up for that. Like Luffy gains rush. You have characters that you don't block. They can just add or play other characters. Like this one, you just keep drawing cards. Like it's a very like defensive playstyle, which I think suits Iceberg in comparison to Kaido, which is like you have defense and high offense. It's a good, more like hybrid. And then here we have the sort of rare cards from Luffy versus Lucci, and then we have event cards for just the rest, like Galila, Company, Frankie family, and then we also get a stage card, which I found quite nice. We actually have the Company as a stage card, and this works for Iceberg, which is that if your leader is Iceberg, you can add a Don card from your deck, which I think is quite good. You can sort of slowly build up Don cards. So yeah, overall, very good. We'll see how it fares in meta, but even if meta wise it might not be that strong, I do like all the cards. I think Water 7 is an amazing arc and I'm happy. Next we have Black, which is CP9, so also from the Water 7 / India's Lobby arc. So the leader is Lucci. So if you haven't watched One Piece, spoilers, sorry if you've decided to click on this video, I'm assuming you have. So yeah, interesting sort of playstyle. Once per turn, if opponent's character is KO'd, you can set this leader as active, which is sort of very like aggressive like playstyle, right? Like you just kill your opponent's character, set this leader as active. Yeah, so normal leader, cool leader. His parallel I will show you guys later as well. So all the sort of navy cards, as we know, Black is mostly navy cards. Most of these, I think all except 2 are from Inius Lobby arc. So here you have Nero, Jerry and Wanze. some of these, I think the person, like the cards, like the site that I got from messed up. This should be CP6. But yeah, Nero, Jerry, and Wanze, if you guys remember, were on the train on the way to Iniesta Lobby. They fought against the Straw Hats. And then we have Corgi, who was from the world government and tried to take Nico Robin. Fukuru, which is an actual member of CP9. We have Jabra, CP9, Kumadori, CP9. And then we have Lueno and Spandam as the Res, which obviously they're more relevant. I hate this character with a passion, and well, everyone should hate Spandam. Okay, he's I don't think anyone in One Piece has really like annoyed me as much as this character has. Yeah, so these are the rares. They both have. I know Spandam has parallel. I think Blueno should get one as well, but it just hasn't been revealed yet. And then the sort of main three, once again, we have super rare Rob Lucci, super rare Kaku, and then you have rare Khalifa. So I think overall black is very nice. All characters that we haven't seen before, and I think the arts are quite nice. All of these three have parallels. There's some other with parallels as well. Now you might be like, oh, why do I not sound excited? And the reason for that is that my favorite Navy characters are Garp and then the Admirals. And of the Admirals, my favorite is someone who hasn't been revealed yet, but finally we get him. We get the GOAT himself, Helmeppo. I'm of course joking, don't take this seriously. We will get the GOAT, I'll show you guys him later. But yeah, so we get Helmeppo during his time in the Navy. We've got brand new, he's the one who actually issued the first bounty for Luffy. Okay, so once again, sort of like random filler cards, if you were. But yeah, so the true reveal now. Okay, this time I'm serious. The actual GOATs. Okay, one of my favorite characters ever in One Piece. We have Fujitora Isho. He's a super rare, and we finally get him. I absolutely love him as a character, and I cannot wait to get him. And then we have Virgo as well. So yeah, just overall quite cool. I put these two at the end because they don't fit in with the others, but yeah, quite cool. And then once again, this character cannot be KO'd by battle. I really like it when they sort of play add like character arcs or like sort of character traits to the ability. And yeah, Isho slash Fujitora is another super rare. So actually black gets 3 super rares, as you can see. So the main focus of this deck was black and yellow. But before we get onto yellow, let me show you the event cards. So as you can see, all during the Iniesta Lobby arc, you have 6 King Pistol, you have Tempest Kick, Sky Slicer, you have Air Door, and you have Soap Sheet, Khalifa, Blueno, Kaku, and Lucci. Next we have Iniesta Lobby. It's a stage card, just quite good. I like that they included it. So yeah, overall my opinion of black is quite nice. I think I like when cards sort of double up, like we got green and blue are both East blue, and then here we've got purple and black are sort of the Water 7 / Iniesta Lobby arc. So yeah, I find that quite cool. And then next we have the new color, yellow. So the yellow leader is Charlotte Katakuri. Katakuri, as we know, it was one of the sort of characters on the deck as well. So let's read out his abilities. Look at up to 1 life card from the top of your opponent's life area, and put it in either on the top or the bottom of the life area. Then this leader gains plus 1000 power for this battle. So it's slightly confusing, but basically you can look at the life area and you can be like, if it's like, you can look at yours or your opponent's, because obviously as we know there's like trigger cards, right? So if you look at your opponents, then you could be like, okay, this trigger card is quite strong, I don't want them to play it now, I'll let them play it later. Or you can be like, actually because it's strong, I'd rather they play it now. And then you also get 1000 power. So as we know, yellow is special because it manipulates life cards, which I think is quite good that they're like using life cards within the game mechanics. So the other leader, so black and yellow leader, is Charlotte Lin or Big Mom. So her ability is you can trash one card from your hand, and if you have one or fewer cards in your life area, you can put up to one card from the top of your deck on top of your life area. So basically, if you're on 1 health, you can be like, actually, never mind, okay, I don't want to be on 1 health, and just play a card. Yeah, just like potentially Big Mom can just stay alive for quite a long time, based off her abilities to manipulate life. I think it's quite good as well because it's a risky gameplay. You'll see later as well why I say it's risky. If you guys have seen the yellow start deck, manipulating life is risky. Like, she can take life characters, like her life cards, and use them, and then she can also put them back. So it's quite risky, like if you lower your life on purpose, just to like get a strong card. But yeah, interesting mechanics, and we'll see how it works out. So now to show you the actual cards for yellow. So I'll show you the Charlotte family first. So to start with, we have Strusen, which is the chef for the Big Mom Pirates. I will read out his ability, which is that you can discard one character with trigger from your hand, and that will KO a character with a cost of 1 or less. So I feel like it sort of opposes Navy that sort of work with low cost. And the other, the tree, if you remember from the forest, is King Bomb, and yeah, trigger is it's a trigger card, and the trigger is you may trash the top or bottom card of your life, which once again just quite cool, right? Like manipulating life, cool but very risky, very scary. Next is Bobbin the Disposer. He's not part of the Charlotte family, but he is part of the Big Mom Pirates. And then you have Charlotte Opera, so also part of the Big Mom Pirates. They don't have abilities, so there's nothing for me to read out. I have sort of put them as they sort of increase. So you have Charlotte Galette. Her ability, as you can see, is shown there, which is a blocker. And then we also have Charlotte Smoothie, who is actually a rare card, as you guys can see. So just to read out the ability, when attacking, you may add one card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand, and you gain plus 2000 power during this battle. And then the trigger, so if you draw her from a life card, is that you just play the card. So yeah, very much manipulating life as Big Mom Pirates do. So yeah, Smoothie is the rare card, but I felt like she wasn't as relevant as the next two. Obviously you have Chiffon, who plays sort of like a recurring role, and then you have Praline, Charlotte Praline, who also played a sort of recurring role. So yeah, overall quite cool. Praline is sort of an allusion to the other part of yellow, which is Fishman Island, which I'll show you guys later. Next we have Oven. Oven being an uncommon was quite quite funny. I felt like he would definitely be a rare, but no, Oven is an uncommon, but I shall read his ability for you guys. You may discard one character with trigger from your hand. This character gains plus 3000 power during this battle, so very aggro. And then of course you have Napoleon. Up to one of your Charlotte Lin gain plus 1000 power until the start of your next turn. And then his trigger is that you just play the card. And then the sort of main reveal, so We have Sanji and Pudding. Of course, I had to put them together. Sanji is one of my favorite characters, and this theme breaks me each time. But yeah, both of them are rare. Just to read out sort of like the abilities for them. So 2 done. When attacking, you may add the top or bottom card of your life area to your hand. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life area, which I think is quite good, right? So you're not losing life in that turn. And then Pudding, she's been revealed before, so you have the translation here, which is that you can look at the 4 cards from the top of your deck, and you can reveal like a Big Mom pirate type card other than her, or you can find Sanji and you can add it to your hand. I quite like this, that you can either play a Big Mom pirate card or you can play Sanji, because she ends up liking Sanji. Yeah, so that's quite cool. Then we have the SRs. So you have Perospero, which I hate, he can go to hell. And then you have Charlotte Cracker. Okay, so just to read the abilities as well. So Perospero, you can look at 3 cards. This is on KO as well, so this is when he dies. But once again, trigger. On KO, look at 3 cards, reveal a Big Mom Pirates card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So yeah, quite a useful ability. Even if he dies, you can get another card, potentially a strong card to play. Then Cracker, as we know, who's also strong in One Piece. So while you have less life than your opponent, this character gains double attack and plus 1000 power, and then also trigger to play him. And then finally, another super rare, you have Big Mom herself, which makes sense. They've sort of always done that. But yeah, let's just read out her ability. If your leader has the Big Mom Pirates type, place up to 1 card from the top of your deck at the top or bottom of your life, then trash up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life. So basically, you're getting a card from your life and then you're saying goodbye to a life. So it's just -1 life ultimately. Yeah. So useful card. And then you have the event cards. Then we have the event cards. So as you guys can see, these event cards are from the Big Mom Pirates. So you have Thunderbolt, which, just to read out the ability, you can trash 1 card from the top of your life, and then you KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. And the trigger is the same. You KO a character with 5 or less. And then you also have another event card for Big Mom, which is Ikuku Sovereignty, which is a counter card, which is up to 1 of your leader or your characters gains plus 5000 power. And the trigger is that you can discard 2 cards from your hand, and you can add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life. It's quite an interesting card, right? Like, it's like if you play this, and then you can add a different card to your life. It would be like you never lost life. And then here you have Oven and Katakuri. They both have their event cards. The Tropical Torment is what this one's called, the Oven one. If your opponent has 4 or more life, place up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life in the trash. So that's just saying like, oh, you're on full health. Man, screw you, get rid of their health. And then for Katakuri, it's Buzzcut Mochi, which is if you have less life than your opponent, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. And then the trigger is play up to 1 character with trigger with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. So good event card. Then finally, we can get onto Fishman Island, which are the remaining. So obviously we have Shirahoshi, we have Kami, and we have Charlie. I like how they've only included girls, like they've only included the mermaids. Like come on guys, okay? Fishman Island had more than that to offer. But yeah, so you've got Kami, you've got Shirahoshi, who is surprisingly none of them are rare. So I think they're all focused on Big Mom Pirates this time. Yeah. And then sort of like the final, okay? So are you guys ready? for the first secret rare reveal, which is King. We have Usopp. So as you can see, this card's name is also treated as Usopp. Surprise, surprise, King is Usopp. Who would have thought? I really thought it was a different person all this time. But yeah, as you can see, return up to one character with a cost of 6 or less to the owner's hand, then draw 2 cards and trash 2 cards. So good character, very much like him. Secret rare, I'm very happy that they made Usopp a secret rare. And yeah, so next reveal time. Okay, so you guys might know who it is because it's been teased in art, but the final card of these 123 cards is in fact Charlotte Katakuri. And yeah, so Big Mom Pirates, put up to one character with a cost of 8 or less on top or bottom of its owner's life area face up. So very strong card, and yeah, it's a very cool character. I don't know what, like, Katakuri, guys, look at him, very cool character. One of the best fights in One Piece goes to him, and he's the last secret rare. So that is the entire card list for One Piece, and what I'm going to show you now is some reveals. So parallels, as you guys might have seen with previous, that parallel cards are quite rare, and with this set come a sort of a list of new parallel cards. We already saw the new event card parallel, the first time an event card has had a parallel with Fire Fist Ace. But yeah, so let's start. First is leader parallels. So they've completely changed the leader parallels. They now have this sort of effect. As you guys can see, they have like sort of a manga look with the colors. So you got Ace, Iceberg, you have Arlong, Nami, Kuro, Katakuri, Big Mom, Lucci. So yeah, very cool. I quite like them, and yeah, just amazing to look at. I'm hoping I get one of these. Okay, so you might be saying, okay, so we got new art styles for leaders. Did we get anything else new? Did we get anything else that's cool that me as a collector would want? So when this set first dropped on the site, there was something interesting about it. It said something. It said it has special cards, and as we saw in the card list, there are no special cards. So I was wondering what they would be, and finally, they've been revealed. Here we have wanted cards from previous decks. As you can see, we have Luffy, we have Kid. So this is Luffy from the starter deck. This is Kid from OP01, so Romance Dawn. And amazing, they've got the original, like how wanted cards look, mixed in with the color of the like what color they are in the game. And yeah, just amazing cards. It's very cool as a collector to get stuff like this. We have 2 more. You have like the fact that they've used the actual wanted poster, like from the actual anime / manga. Like that is what Luffy's wanted poster looked like. That is what Kid's wanted poster was. That is what Doflamingo's was. That is what Kaido's was. Just very cool, very like interesting. Like it's a very cool card. Like I'm just impressed. Okay, so yeah, so special cards. It seems that they're releasing them every deck. So that's quite cool. That they like. It's just I know it's a reskin. Like I know this card already exists, but it's just. It's a bit cooler than a parallel to have. It's a special card. You have the SB at the bottom there. It's just, I'm glad they did this. I know some people are hating on it, but like, listen, okay, they're giving you cool cards to look at. Like, what more do you guys want? So now let's go through the actual parallels. So here we have the secret rare parallels. So you have King parallel, Katakuri parallel, and then the next slide is the manga parallel. So in the first set, Shanks obviously had the manga art. In the second set, okay, Ace had it. So who in this set, who deserves to have a proper manga art? Who deserves to have the most valuable card in this set? And obviously, it can be none other than the GOAT, Sogeking himself. As you can see, Usopp has the manga art this time. So yeah, I find it funny, but I found it perfect. Like, this is what he deserves. Yeah, so here we go. That's the manga art. Now I'll show you some other parallels. So we have Jin, Krieg, and Zeph. And yeah, so these are green and then blue. And we have Perispero's art, we have Big Mom. This one's quite scary actually, but yeah, that's her art. And then Cracker. And then we also have Kaku, Cauliflower, Spandam, their alts. Just like as a whole, they just look very cool, very cool. Like, I know it looks shiny and the image is a bit blurry. It's just because like this is from the official account and they upload it on Twitter and they have like the worst quality, but like yeah, like still very cool. And these like haven't been shown like in this format, but just to show you, Pauli's ult, Usopp's ult. You have the Lucci's ult, which is actually displayed on the pack itself. And yeah, that is all the alts I have. Finally, I want to touch on some interesting news that you guys probably already have seen if you've been following, but pack 4 was revealed officially, and it is this. So it's called Kingdom of Conspiracies. It will have cards from Dressrosa, and it will have cards from Alabasta. So very cool. Obviously we got Law, one of my favorite characters here. We've got Luffy. I just very much looking forward to it. And then they revealed ST10. So starter deck 10, and they said it's going to be a very good one. And it's this, so it releases later this year. But as you can see, you've got the 3 goats of Wano. You've got Luffy, Law, and Kid all working together. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this starter deck. It's going to be a special deck. It comes with like a case and stuff. So yeah, I'll put the like links in the description for the card list that I use, the official card list, and like the links to these as well, just so you can go and check it out in your own time. But yeah, very cool set. I have actually, with my friend in Asia, ordered 3 of these boxes, so I don't know if we'll do an unboxing, hopefully, but I'll definitely let you guys know what I pull. If I don't get Ace, then I'm going to do tragic things to myself, so let's all manifest together that I get Ace. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. We have a Discord server, so you can pop in the Discord server and talk to me anytime about this stuff. It'll be in the description as well. And see ya.